Trading involves risk of loss and may not be suitable for you. Past performance is no guarantee or reliable indication of future results. All advice and education content is general in nature.
Good morning, traders and investors. It's Thursday the 27th of September, and we've seen the markets continuing their short-term pullback, with European indices and US indices all falling overnight. The FTSE 100 was down 91 points, or 1.5%, catching up from the fall in the US markets the previous night. It closed at 5,768, and we can see a solid red candle there, now testing the 50-period moving average, which is the blue line on screen. German DAX was also down 148 points, or 2%, closing at 7,276. Again, we can see this is a short-term counter-trend movement, and we still remain in this upwards trend overall. French CAC 40 lost 98 points, or 2.8%, so quite a large fall there on the French indice. It closed at 3,414. You can see a support base down there around 3,370, and expectations are for the time being that this selling pressure will at least come down to that level and potentially test that. And if that is the case, that would also show a potential change in trend. It would mean a lower low point, but we'd need to see a weak rally forming a lower high point to change the trend overall. So a little bit of time before we might see that. In the US markets, the Dow Jones was down 44 points, or 0.3%, closing at 13,413. This is still a short-term counter-trend movement. Wasn't a strong day of selling pressure. It certainly was a continuation of the retracement. We can see that the strong day was the previous session on Tuesday. The Nasdaq index, representing technology stocks, was down 24 points, 0.7%, closing at 3,093. A little bit of a shadow on the bottom of last night's candle, denoting a bit of a pullback through the middle of the afternoon. Now there's a support base there at 3,040, so one would expect any short-term retracement to come down towards that level, which will also match the medium-term 50-period moving average. The S&P 500 was down 8 points, 0.5%. Again, a short-term continuation of the retracement. Our support base there is around 1400 to 1395, and we'd be looking for a bullish reversal pattern at some stage between now and then, if the overall upwards trend is to continue. So with the falling markets, the VIX index was up. It had gained 11 cents to close at 1995. There was a little bit of a pullback in the afternoon on the VIX. We can see the shadow on top of that candle. It is a counter-trend movement against the overall downwards trend, just reflecting exactly what happens in the S&P 500, to be honest. And we do expect that there'll be a little bit more of a rise in volatility, as fears are a little bit stronger at the moment about the European arena, as well as the strength of the US markets. On the Australian markets, the ASX 200 was down 14 points on Wednesday. That closed at 4,358. It had picked up in the afternoon a little bit. It's still maintaining an overall upwards trend, even though the momentum of the markets has fallen. We can see that pullback through here. The angle of the trend is also slowing, and this is because we have this resistance range up around 4,400 to 4,450. SPI futures are down 18 points ahead of market open, so that will have an influence on today's opening bell. We will see that falling below the 20-period moving average, and if those sellers do maintain that through the rest of the session, we could be looking at a pullback down towards 4,300 as a ballpark, down towards that previous low point set early in September. That's our update for Thursday, 27th September, and we wish you the best of luck with your trading. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us on brown@halifaxonline.com.au.